Okay, I got my phone here. I set this up like that, so it's my audio. By the way, it's recording audio, and it's chilling on my lamp. Okay, I'm gonna go get some coffee. I hope you can hear me. So, I just put my finger, ew, that's disgusting, right? Just put my finger in my coffee. This is my laptop, and I have my questions there. I asked on Instagram for questions, and yeah. Oh, I dyed my bangs. It's not very visible. It didn't take well on the roots because I recently bleached it, and I don't know, for some reason my roots, when I recently bleached them, don't take on color very well. When I had white hair, it was really hard for purple shampoo to take on the roots, so I'm used to it. I'm not saying that the hair dye has something wrong with it. Anyway, we have questions to answer. This is my cat. Say hello to her. Thank you. I had a lot of questions, so some of them I combined to include as many questions as I could. I made them into like themes, like there's some general questions, some hair questions, some favorite food, whatever questions. Also drawing questions, but the drawing questions are more in the end, so I might put timestamps here. This question I always get, or at least similar ones, and it's if I'm originally from Finland or if I'm studying anything, and both are no. I'm not from Finland. I just moved here after high school. I did high school in Greece, and I was born in Austria, and I haven't studied anything after high school. I'm one of those people. The only time I had like an art class was in middle school, once a week, like 1 hour. And you can imagine how much you can learn from that. It was mostly like the fun time in school. How old I am? I'm 24. I'll be 25 in June, this June. Cool. And then, if I have been preferring short or long hair, because I recently cut it. Actually, it's gonna be a year in a bit. I really liked short hair. I liked actually the length that is like jaw length. That's a really pretty one. So I just continued cutting it to that length for a few months. I think the last time I cut my hair was in June. And then I just decided that I want my long hair back. It's not that short hair is bad. It's actually very convenient. Like, you don't have to do anything before you go to sleep. You don't have to brush it. I never brush my hair, not even when it was long, but now like I don't even need to, and it dries super fast. It's not a struggle to do your roots with short hair, and my hair doesn't get stuck on places, or like I don't sit on my hair. It's beautiful. I think I like short hair for like the benefits, but I prefer long hair for the way I look, like the way I dress and the way I just exist. I think it matches more to have long hair because it balances out the contrast between all the things I like to have contrast with. I like balance, but for me, long hair, yes. Maybe not as long as I used to have it. Then the next question is, what's my natural hair color? It's like a brown, a darkish brown, but not too dark. I have like a shaved part back here. I don't know if you can see. This is my natural one. I shaved that part because when I had long hair, because I was tired of my hair becoming dreads all the time, especially in winter time when I was using scarves. And then I just shaved it off, and I didn't have that problem anymore. Because the hair back there is like baby hair, so it's really fragile and weird. It also looks cool if you do like 2 braids and you can see the shaved part underneath. Then there's a bunch of questions what my favorite something is. So that's what I'm gonna do now. I always say that, but I don't really have a favorite something. It changes a lot, and I don't even think about what's my favorite something. I just like things. Some things I like more, and some things I like even more, but I like things, and it's hard to choose between them. But I can tell you what I'm obsessed with more this week. So my favorite food, I'm not hungry right now, so I can't tell, and I'm also struggling with food lately. I hate eating lately. How can people talk about food when they're not hungry? Like, I wanna not even think about it right now. But I could say potato crisps. Favorite art so far? I suppose that you mean like my art so far? I don't know. Let me see my sketchbook. I don't know. Like, I like this bunny a lot. That's a cute one, but it's not my favorite one. I don't know. I haven't drawn anything that I'm obsessed with lately, so these questions are so hard. What's your favorite insect? This week, or like lately, it's the mole cricket. It has like all this a strong armor that's I don't know, probably if you touch it, it must be very hard, and it has those little cute hands. It's so cute. And there's another question that says like, why do insects inspire me? First of all, I grew up in a small island, and there we have a bunch of nature, mostly dry nature, and not like don't expect something very tropical. Most things are just dried, and there's a bunch of herbs. But yeah, there's a lot of bugs, and it's pretty normal for you to have bugs in your house. It's almost impossible not to have bugs in your house. It's not like here in Finland where I have barely ever seen bugs. I'm used to have bugs around, and I didn't grow up being scared of them because my mother wasn't really scared of them. I know a lot of people who grew up in the same place and are terrified of them. So that's one thing. It's not that I will be 100% comfortable. I still am scared of bugs, and I don't know, disgusted of certain types of bugs. Like, I hate larvae. I don't like it. I have a traumatic experience when I was a child, and since then I cannot. But yes, first I think that's a reason why I'm okay with bugs. But I also like how cool they are, and I don't know, they're so interesting, and there's so many kinds of bugs. And they're also like fairies with their beautiful wings, and they also have all this beautiful armor on them. It must be weird to be a bug because everything is dangerous. Like, anybody can just come and eat your head. How many plants do you have in total? That's a sad question. I have around 31, which is a good number. I don't think I want more at the moment, but I used to have 70, not this summer, but like the summer before. I used to have 70, and then I went to Greece. I think it was for a month or something, and I had somebody take care of them, but because it was summer, it was super hot. Some needed water every 2 days, so there were a bunch that died, especially ferns and like some clovers that I had. And then I had a thrips infestation. It's a kind of pest that basically sucks all the juices from your plants, and then it's also able to fly to other plants, and it's terrible if you have many plants because they just get infested in just days, and you can barely see them. They're really tiny, so it's really hard to get rid of them, and they lay eggs all the time. So before you know it, all your plants are infested. I had this infestation for I think 2 years. Plants start dying. I was trying my best to make them survive, like quarantine them. As soon as I moved here, it was hard to quarantine because I didn't have a place to put them, like somewhere with light that there were other plants around. And I eventually decided this summer, like in June, I decided to throw away all the plants that had been infested, which meant I had to threw away some big plants. I think I threw away 14 plants that day. I cried. And then I just gave away some plants that I didn't want, that were not infested. I'm not that kind of person. I was putting like a sticky note and wrote "take me" and then the name of the plant and how to take care of it. And I put it on the door, like around the door of my apartment building, and people will get them for free. And I gave away some to my friends, and I have now been to a point where I have 31 plants. I'm planning to eventually move out of Finland, so I'm not planning to get any more. And this is why I also slowly give them away. Another question that says, any tips for dealing with winter sadness? Get some plants that can survive winter. It's nice, like when everything is dark and black and white outside, it's nice to have some plants inside. I would just say try to go out as much as possible, even if you don't want to and it's really cold. I try to do that even though like there's literally nothing outside. Everything is just black and white and I hate it. I want green and plants and mushrooms. I want to see things, not just snow. Other than that, try to keep yourself busy. Try to wake up early enough so that you can see as much light as you can. Try to see people. Make plans for spring. And maybe use your time to decorate your house. Make it really cozy. Have like little snacks for yourself for after you come from the walk. Like something you really want to eat or, I don't know, do or watch. Like have little gifts for yourself for going for a walk. I hate winter. My biggest joy lately is just going and seeing the ducks, because here we have a lot of cold and everything freezes, including the sea and the lakes, and there's a little current underneath a bridge somewhere around the corner there, and this part doesn't freeze, so all the ducks just gather there, and I like going there and just watching them, because they're just doing their thing. They always look happy. They're so pure. They're so beautiful creatures. Just find things that you really like and keep doing them even if you don't want to. Prepare maybe yourself also before winter comes. Like write all the things that you like, just so that you can remember when you read them. Because when you're in this winter sadness, everything gets really foggy and you don't know what's happening, you know? So prepare yourself. Also, if you can, maybe go for a trip somewhere warm, somewhere different. That makes a huge difference. How does one overcome hating everything they make? That's a good question. So, I wrote a few things about it because I would forget about it. First, do you make stuff because you want to make those things? Or do you make them because somebody told you to, or it's like an expectation somebody has unconsciously put in your head that you have to do a specific thing? Like, is the thing you are making actually what you want to make? For example, it could be that somebody had at some point complimented you about something, and then you would think that this is something you're good at and this is what you have to do. Maybe you do something because it's more popular to do that, like you get more likes, reach. How do people say that? Reach? No. You know what I mean. Is it because of that, or I don't know, like for example, people used to, when I first started drawing, people used to tell me that my drawings look really sad or like there's no colors in my drawings, and I would think that this is a bad thing, and I would try not to do that. I eventually realized I don't like drawing, and I stopped, and I was like, but I want to draw, like I don't get it. And then I did the connection that I just was doing something that just because other people told me that what I used to do was bad, or what that I wasn't doing like the right thing. What I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, like, do you do things because you really want to, or do you do things because you're affected by somebody else's opinion? That's what I mean. Because that's a way to hate your art or whatever you're making. I certainly hated what I was making, and once I realized I was doing that, I loved drawing again. And this is not something you just get as a beginner, because I was a beginner back then, but also now, for example, I would find myself like drawing something. Like, for example, I used to draw a lot of people in a specific way, and I would continue doing that, and I wouldn't find any, like, I wouldn't enjoy the process, and I would question like why, and then I would think like, oh, because this is what I used to do, but it doesn't mean that I have to continue liking doing this specific thing. Like, I can do something similar and add something new to it, but like if you continue doing the same thing, it doesn't work out. You just have to develop it into, you know, what you like now, because that's how our brain works. They don't stay in the same point all the time. They move on, which is also a reason why you might hate what you're doing now, because you see all those artists and you compare yourself to them, and your brain has like this picture of all this beautiful art, and then you see yours and it's like not even there, and you're like, what the hell, I hate this. But it's like you are putting yourself some expectations that are not even possible. Like, you have to go there slowly, and like expecting you to draw like that, it's not working out. Like, there's a gap in between that is huge, which is experience. It's a lot of years of trying and like experimenting and like studies and all those things. Best case scenario is like, instead of seeing that as a bad thing, you can see it as a good thing, like a way to motivate you that I want to be there, I want to do those things. Sorry. Sometimes I love my drawings and sometimes I hate them, and most of the time I'm just okay with them. I don't find them that interesting a lot of the times. I'm just like, You can't really know if something will turn out great or not before you do it, so you just try. And in order for you to have more chances to like something a lot, you just try a lot more often. If you have in 1 month 30 drawings, there's a high chance that there's at least gonna be one that you're extremely proud of. I'm not saying that I draw every day. I don't, and I'm sure a lot of people don't even have the time to draw every day. But I'm just saying, don't be discouraged when you draw a few times every now and then and you don't find yourself getting better, or you don't find yourself liking what you make. I don't think even if we were the best artist out there, we would be satisfied with what we make. We will still look up to other people and their art and want to achieve something else, because we as people, just when we get somewhere, we just get used to it and then we want something else. And that's how it goes all the time. It's like also this fake happiness feeling where you're like, oh, if I get all those things, I'm gonna be happy. And then you get these things and then you're not happy, and then you're like, what the hell? It's the same with drawings. That's I think the beauty of drawing. You just explore and you just try your hardest and you make things as good as you get, as best as you can. Sometimes I forget to breathe. Do you do that too? Oh, coffee! Oh my god, I forgot about you. Well, that's like the point. You explore. You can explore forever. Like, it's boring if you eventually get to the point where you're the best. Like, what then? You're just gonna draw great things all the time? The challenge is the beautiful thing. The fear is the beautiful thing. You do it, and then you're like, hell yeah, I did it. Looks terrible, but I did it. And then the next time it's gonna look great. And the next time it's not gonna look great. The beautiful part is the process, not the goal. The goal might even change eventually. You might be like, man, I don't want to do that anymore, and like try something else. Don't try to rush anything. Don't try to like look at your goal and like don't not observe what's happening around you, because you're getting better and you don't even realize it, and you're not having fun. You're just being upset you're just being upset about you're just getting upset with yourself. I found it. And not enjoying the process, which is the point. Like I wrote here, enjoy the ride. That's all you can do, and that's all that you will ever be able to do. Don't try to go to a place that doesn't exist. What a philosopher here. Okay, how did you learn to draw anatomy for animals? I haven't. I basically... Does this go? Thank you. Okay, I haven't learned anatomy for animals. I know basically how animals' anatomy works. Some animals are very similar. I used to have cats when I was... since always, actually. I always had cats. Well, I don't have now, but till I was 18, I always had cats. So I know how cats look. And other animals are very similar to cats, like how their legs look. And I have seen dead cats a lot, because we used to have like a road outside of my house, so they used to die a lot. Most of my cats I have seen dead. It's sad. Anatomy comes to the skeleton of an animal, and then the muscles, and then how it looks with all the fur and stuff. And because a lot of animals have fur or feathers, you don't need to know the anatomy so well. You just need to know like some things maybe. It's not like a human anatomy where we don't have fur or feathers. For example, the rabbit I showed you before, I don't know how it works, like the anatomy, but like I just imagined a cat with big feet. The other time I drew a goat. I have never drawn a goat before, but I just imagined like the big difference is how the head is, and I just imagined like a triangular shape, and I just worked with it. I didn't like think about it too much. It gets easier, like if you practice a lot with different things, it's easier to imagine how it could look like. I also always have references. How do you paint on paper without it buckling? There's this watercolor paper that is glued on all the sides, like a watercolor pad. This doesn't buckle so easily because it's glued. And I mean, when you paint on it, it's gonna buckle a bit, but once it dries, it's gonna look almost straight. Other than that, you can stretch your paper. Some people like put water on it and then like let it dry, or like how's it called, like glue it with washi tape or like masking tape while it's still wet so that you stretch it. I have done the other thing where you just get a piece of paper and then you put washi tape or masking tape around it, and then you paint on it, and then once it dries it's almost straight. If you have already painted on it and it's pretty wavy, you can take it and spray it with some water on the other side, not on the side you have painted but on the back side, and you can put it between some heavy books and it will eventually dry somehow straight, or if not super straight. It depends, but yeah, don't overdo it with the water, just a tiny bit so that it gets a bit of moisture so that the paper is manageable and you can change its form a bit. That's it. I hope you enjoyed this, and I don't know. Have a good day. I'm wearing unmatched socks. Did you notice? Ha. Some people wanted me to make like a winter lookbook, but honestly, there's no way I can find this much daylight to film something like that. Also, in the studio vlog I posted last time, it's so dark. You can't see anything. Like everything, there's a lot of noise around the frames and everything. I hated editing them. So dark. And most of my clothes are dark, so like you can't see anything. I was trying to take pictures of my outfits on Instagram for like Instagram stories, and you would only see a black blob. But there's gonna be a spring one. Spring is in April here, like April, May, but I might do it before that. See you, I guess.